Okay, this is going to be like my 5th take, whatever. This is a response to Racist Christians by Baby G. Now, I'm going to try and sum this up nice and quick. The word you're looking for is hypocrite. You don't like hypocrites. As a rule, and I've done this in one of my previous videos, my Climate Gate series, what I really found is human beings, more or less, we like to have an archetype, an image to look up to live up to. For some people, it's the respectable preacher who wears a suit and tie every Sunday and stands out front of his congregation, and he's given out sermons and lectures, and his wife does the same, and their kids are upstanding kids, and they don't break the commandments, and they talk over their problems, and that's not, by itself, that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a little line from the Bible. I'm going to cite a friend of mine. Whatsoever you do to the least of my brothers is that which you do unto me. That's what Christianity is based on. Real Christianity, may I add. Now, the guy I knew was living in Washington State. His girlfriend used to be a bloke, and, you know, the thing is, it didn't stop him from loving her. Because the woman he loved, I mean, let's face it, when somebody wants to be your sister instead of your brother, that's about as far from being, that makes you about the least of your brothers when you're going to be someone's sister. So, I know, word games are one thing, however, it is true. You know, and the Christian ideal is that you've got to ask yourself, would I do this to Jesus? Would I take Jesus as, you know, would I do something nasty to Jesus? No. Well, why are you doing it to that person? The least of your brothers. They live in another country. Their skin is another colour. Maybe they're physically deformed. Maybe they're handicapped some other way. Maybe they've got all sorts of problems. Maybe they're ugly like I am. So, it doesn't matter. Maybe you don't identify them. Maybe they're autistic and they never talk to you. Maybe they don't have the capacity. Maybe they're just a jerk. The question is, would you be unfair to Jesus? That's what Christians, real Christians, ask themselves. Even the Buddhists say that all life is suffering and unpleasant. It's pretty simple. Islam, be practical. That's what the overriding message I got. Have faith in something bigger than yourself, something that can never be questioned, you know, and the government can be brought down by people, your family can be broken up, you know, your planet can be smashed by an asteroid. That's always a bit of a downer on your day. What I'm saying is that people will take, there's an old saying, the devil will quote scripture to suit his own needs, okay? So that means that jerks, people who, like you said, are racists, they're going to quote the Bible, they'll quote the Quran, they'll quote legal statutes. It won't matter. They'll find something. And as far as America's foreign policy goes, that's a whole separate matter. And really, I can't say Australia's any better. And the Native American tribes, just as an historical footnote, used to war on each other as well. Yeah, the Crow had a pretty decent reputation, so does it make them better or worse? Does it make one tribe more or less deserving of being invaded by white men? Not really. Human beings can be jerks to each other. It doesn't matter about the colour of your skin or your pedigree. I'm about as white as you get. Sour cream is one of the few things whiter than I am, okay? I'm white. It doesn't stop me from reaching... Look at who are some of my... I don't have many subscribers, grant you. Look at some of my friends list. Okay, granted there's not many. I would love to put Drana on there. She's doing some great stuff with sovereignty. You could teach her about that. Anyway, what I'm really saying is, if you look at some of the people I've talked with and posted videos between here on the website, some of them are white. One person I know has Native American background. One person clearly has African descendancy of some sort. And if you're mixed race, good for you. Couldn't care less. I don't look at race. You got to see the bigger picture. There's always a bigger picture. And this is something that I've had kicking around in my brain at one or two points in my life. I don't see black people, white people. Some people just see, when you talk to most people, you introduce yourself, say, what do you do for a living? What's your job? How do you contribute to our society? In fact, this will even bleed onto a second video, I'll bet ya. Anyway, hope this helped.